everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're calling from. I think we can go ahead and get started. It's 4:01. Thank you so much for joining. On behalf of Platformation, today we are discussing ServiceNow's new Xanadu upgrade. Here we're going to communicate how to what this upgrade consists of, and if it is worth the business value for you to do so. So additionally, how to communicate this to your stakeholders. So we've got a great team here, and we're happy you're with us. Really quick, if you are looking for additional insights straight to your inbox, please go ahead and scan this QR code. This will inform you about different events that we have and different tips and tricks as we're going to discuss with the team today. I would like to introduce you to my amazing colleagues here. So my name's Ellie. I'm your host today for today's session. We've got my colleague Willem here, Edward, Sachin, Jeroen, and Marte. So yeah, we're all really excited to communicate these insights, and without further ado, I'll hand it over to Willem.
Yes, so starting off with Xanadu with the quality and excellence. I think that's the foundation of the platform. Very important. And I've picked 3 topics. For me, it's not moving to, it's not moving to the next one. Okay, so a bit of background. I am an architect. So this Xanadu release, what stood out to me is, of course, enterprise architecture. I'm also a developer, so integrated development environment, the IDE that's available and hugely enhances the developer experience. It's very nice. And also the question fast or faster. I think everybody is interested in that. So let's dive into enterprise architecture. For those of you who are not familiar with enterprise architecture and the value, it helps you connect your IT landscape together and connect it to business and business value. ServiceNow has the CSDM, where you a model that helps you align again that business to the IT. And what better than have your enterprise architecture diagram directly connected where your configuration items are. That also means that from a visual representation, you can click through, see the details of the CIs. So I think especially if you're involved in the CMDB, in a role that involves either enterprise architecture or architecture, this is really worth checking out. And then also it means for the upgrading that the application portfolio management name has changed to enterprise architecture. So if you're looking for APM, that's now EA. And then the next functionality as a developer, the integrated developer environment. I think that's also, if you're a developer, you might recognize it from other IDEs. It adds a lot of powerful capabilities. And then another thing that ServiceNow introduced connected to this, again, as a developer, I really like it, is ServiceNow Fluent. So you can, from the IDE, generate, for example, a business rule just using lines of codes. So where we saw also in the release a lot of low-code functionalities, building apps without code, for the pro coders amongst us, really powerful pro code enablement. And then the next one, the final one, speed. So we have to decide if we are upgrading to Xanadu, do we want it fast or faster? ServiceNow threw some numbers already when we were at Knowledge. It's up to 53% faster with RaptorDB. So that database, the faster database will happen in the background. You can, of course, see when you are upgraded. You don't need to have any technical steps to take there. But what you can choose is, are you going for RaptorDB Standard or RaptorDB Professional? And the Professional adds ultra scale and high performance. So it's even quicker. And maybe even more important is it will make you future ready to also support better the generative AI cases that you might already have in the pipeline. So it's quicker, faster, and also provides more throughput.
All right, I will continue then with my part. So my name is Edward. Today we'll be talking about the workplace efficiency, but more specifically the workplace service delivery. If you're new to this, it's basically the facility management side of ServiceNow. Today we'll be focusing on 3 main focus areas for this. Most of the new updates are literally enhancements, but the second ones you see in the middle here is really something new. within WSD. That's the abbreviation, and specific the visitor management application. So starting first with the enhancement. Back in May this year, they have released an event planner, basically making it possible for reservations managers, but also, for example, executive assistants to drag and drop reservations from a workspace perspective. And what is new here, or really enhanced, is that once you drag and drop a specific reservation, the services that you have requested before as an end user, that is retained within the reservations. Service can be, for example, catering. That's a practical example, like the lunch or the snack. Another enhancement is the ability to define a lead time to request or update a workplace service, for example, catering. So catering team or the facility team can block it. For example, you need to request a catering service a minimum of 24 hours before the reservation that you have. So that is pretty a very new valuable enhancement in here. And as a last one here is the space scenarios. So this is specifically for space planners or workplace consultants, still in the previous one, yeah. For the workplace consultants to create scenarios from a workspace perspective. What do I mean with this is, let's say you have finance department in a corner in floor 1 and they need to move to floor 2. That is a scenario. What happens if we move finance department from one floor to another one? So in this case, as an enhancement, the workplace planner can do more than one scenario at a time. So that's really great for them. Going on for the next one, which is really the new feature within visitor management, is kiosk. This is really important for the companies who wants to go really virtual with receptions. For example, no physical receptions at a building, and you only have a tablet to welcome all the visitors to the building. So yeah, here you have then the portal where it makes it possible for visitors to check in and also self-checkout as part of this process. There are, of course, different ways to do this. So ServiceNow, as a first release, they have provided some options to do that. For example, checking in with a invitation passcode that the end user receives via an email, but also it can also be possible via an email address that you fill in there, or a phone number, or your name. And it's also not only check in, check out, but for example, if a visitor or if a host, like an employee, forgot to register the visitor for the building, the visitor can always also self-register from this portal, so from this kiosk. So that's also a very valuable part. This is a first release of visitor management or for kiosk. This will be enhanced in the coming releases. Also good to know for specific WSD, they have a quarterly release, so more often than a ServiceNow upgrade. Yeah, I would say stay tuned for the upcoming releases. Now, last but not least, the part of enhanced agent efficiency. This was also released back in May this year about making it possible for facility agents to fulfill their cases directly from their application. So ServiceNow, as you might know, ServiceNow has an agent app. Well, now it is also possible for the facility agents to fulfill cases. What is new then from this release is at least for my point of view, the most important one is the calendar view. And this is really important for those catering team that wants to know, hey, when do I need to prepare this catering service, like a snack or a lunch or a drink. So now they can see it all the way from a calendar view. Also, new mini enhancement here is that they can create cases on behalf of other employees. And this is specifically very interesting for those agents or facility agents that walk around in the building and don't have to walk around with their own laptop. So they only have their phone in their hand, and they can fulfill cases, but also create cases on behalf of other employees. So that's in a really short, the biggest enhancements and new features for WSD for this release. Now I'll pass it on back to Willem to talk more about the AI side.
Yes, thank you. So GenAI, generative AI, I spoke about the database enhancement before, getting the fundamentals in order. Now it's time for the fun stuff. AI in every corner. We also have AI agents coming up, not yet available, but it's good to also have a look in the future. It will be during the Xanadu release that we have access. And then also a practical tip. My advice would, we're going to upgrade. GenAI will be something that we are working more and more with. How do we do that responsibly? And what's the impact of what's to come in Xanadu? So starting off with AI in every corner of the business. If you were at Knowledge, if you had the videos of Bill McDermott, the CEO of ServiceNow, you might hear that phrase a lot. And I also recognize that with our customers, that more and more AI, and not just generative artificial intelligence, but also the regular kind of AI will become more and more used, because it's a fundamental part of automating, improving the user experience and the interaction. You now have a conversational experience interacting. For those of you who now have a chatbot or ever had the pleasure of interacting with a chatbot, we know that previously left something to improve. And with GenAI, that chatbot experience is with every release enhanced. So also in the Xanadu release, it's becoming better. Reading through a lot of text. Maybe it's just me. As an architect, I like to draw things and look at drawings. A big book of text. In my spare time, I like to read, but not for work, especially if you have huge tickets. So summarizing that, we all know that can save us time. But what makes it more specific is what they call the verticals. No, sorry, still the previous slide. Because the way we summarize also determines how useful it is. So that's what ServiceNow is introducing in the Xanadu release, and I'm expecting that to expand further in further releases, is specific summarization, specific generation for the line of business that you're in. So it's not just looking at HR across all those different industries. HR, human resources, is probably has some key concepts in how we use GenAI, but then also specifics for the industry. And then for the AI agent, that's the next slide. That is, I think, the next step of what we can do with AI, because it's nice that it helps our human agents suggest certain solutions, summarizes the cases, summarizes the chat, but this is the next step. Your team of service desk agents or professionals are now able to be supported by AI agents doing a lot of the work automated. They work 24/7. That's the benefit of machines. Luckily, I'm not working 24/7. And they can scale up, right? So you can imagine if you have a team of 10 service desk people now, and you're able to scale that up to maybe 100-fold, you can get to the phone quicker, resolve issues quicker, and the human agents are able to resolve those complex cases. The reoccurring cases, probably an example you've heard a lot of times, the password reset, those are a thing of the past. The AI agent will autonomously handle that. There is the connect, of course, we call it the human in the loop. That is still important. And that brings us also to the next slide. Because all that power, with great power comes great responsibility. And that responsibility, if you ask us, still has that human element. So what we saw previously, you could ask a question to a person, a service desk agent, and that service desk agent would be what we call augmented by generative AI. So the service desk agent can use GenAI to summarize the chat, come up with possible solutions, GenAI would answer, and then you get the service desk agent answering to the customer. But on the next slide, you see where that AI agent comes in. There, you ask a question that turns into a prompt. The AI agent will pick it up autonomously. And if it's not sure, if it handled the case 100 times perfectly well, nobody's needing to validate that, right? You do you. The AI agent from A to Z will handle the case. But sometimes it's not sure, and it will still ask the human. So the human in the loop is still there. And that's a concept. If you're expanding your GenAI, which I think all of us will, keep that in mind. And handing it over to Jeroen for app development.
Yes, hi everyone. So my name is Jeroen Kopczynski, and I'm a business consultant that primarily runs custom app development projects. So during the webinar, I will be taking you through two of the most important highlights of the Xanadu release, which are Creator Studio and some additional Now Assist functionality for creator workflow. But first of all, for those that are not familiar yet with application development, within Platformation, we also build applications on the ServiceNow platform. We often do this when the standard workflows of ServiceNow either don't suffice or when there's no standard product available. So you might think, why? Why would I build an application on the ServiceNow platform? So, well, due to time restrictions on this webinar, I'm going to limit it to 4, but there's many more. The first one, number 1, is that you can build business applications very fast. And that is because ServiceNow has a very large toolbox available that helps with the development. Often in a few weeks to 2 months, you can already have an MVP available. Second reason is that because of the flexible and adaptive nature of the platform, the business applications that are built on the platform are highly scalable and build organizational resilience. Third one is that it can help you build the bridges in your organization between departments that are already using ServiceNow, and it allows you very easily, let's say, to take a process that is yet to be digitized and doesn't have a standard solution. You build it onto the ServiceNow platform, and then you can very easily build intra-platform integrations for more efficient routing and faster resolution times. And last but not least, on top of this, it allows you to make use of all the other existing platform capabilities that you can see here, like analytics and reporting and virtual agent. This is bringing me to the first topic, Creator Studio. So Creator Studio, full no-code development environment, which has been recently released. So what you can do with it is you can build request-based applications. Like if you have a team taking care of very specific master data management requests, you can create a simple app using it. So within Creator Studio, you're able to build forms on the portal and in the backend through a drag and drop interface. And through playbooks, it can also include some automation, like the creation of tasks or the assignment, routing. Also decisions and sending approvals are also part of this. This is particularly interesting for organizations that are starting or already busy in their delegated development journey, or to simply build low complicated apps faster that are on your backlog. It integrates very well with App Engine Management Center, so you're still in control in terms of quality assessment and deployment, but the biggest benefit is that you can deliver these solutions just faster to your business, saving your valuable time. Next topic I will be talking about is Now Assist for Creator. So for those of you who are unaware, Now Assist for Creator is a separate line in the GenAI models of ServiceNow, which is really intended for your ServiceNow development. So some of the already existing features were text to code to prevent having to write complex code yourself, flow recommendations based on what are the next logical steps in the process flow, and also text to app, which is a conversational interface, which you can also see on the screen. Newly introduced is text to playbook and text to report. So text to report is quite simply put, as it says, data visualization based on a text prompt, meaning that you get to see what you ask to see in a specific graph or report, And Text to Playbook can generate the outline of the playbook, particularly helping you with the automation part in Creator Studio and get those request-based apps in there even faster. And in addition, Now Assist can also help you by giving recommendations on actions that are part of the playbook, making it easier to find what you're looking for and to do. So thank you. If there's any questions or whether you'd like to talk to someone in application development, let us know. And then I'll be handing it over to my colleague, Sachin.
Thank you very much. My name is Sachin Kumar, working as a capability lead for operational technology. And I'll be taking you through some important features that you should do in OT with this new release. And we'll be doing this in next few slides. Okay, so to start off with, we need to understand what are the most important concerns that a modern manufacturing company has. So typically, these are like, what is my cost of manufacturing operations each month due to downtime and inefficiencies that we have experienced? What impact do fulfillment delays have on production schedules and workforce utilization? What kind of challenges I'm facing in merging IT and OT systems while using benefits of the fourth industrial revolution that is happening right now, but not compromising on ensuring that we still have robust security measures. So we'll now move on to the slides where we will be looking at some of the solutions that this release provided. So the Xanadu release brings significant improvement to OT security, process efficiency, and real-time decision-making. So we'll look at how it empowers the OT teams, how it improves and strengthens the overall security, how it streamlines and makes more efficient change and incident process, the OTSM processes. Yeah. So in the next slide, let's start with how it empowers OT teams and people a little bit more now. So earlier on, managing vulnerabilities in OT system was slow and quite uncoordinated. So there wasn't a dedicated person to track and fix vulnerabilities. This obviously leads to delays and overlooked risk. So IT and OT teams weren't always like aligned, and the actual field agents could only collaborate from desktops, yeah, which slowed down the problem solving when they were kind of away from their workstation. So with this release, we now have a dedicated role. So the OT vulnerability management lead who ensures these vulnerabilities are identified and resolved quickly. Additionally, there's also a sidebar collaboration feature introduced in this release, I think for many modules, and it is also available for the agents to chat with each other in real time while they are on move. Yeah, so that obviously makes problem solving much faster and smoother. This solution also reduces delays. It improves communication, obviously, and minimizes risk to your OT systems. With real-time mobile collaboration, problems are solved faster. Operations experience less downtime because, yeah, you're communicating in real time. Plus, having a dedicated lead means vulnerabilities are no longer overlooked. So there is like no struggle with regards to what is IT vulnerability that we need to look at, what is OT, and should there be like different people handling this. So by making these changes, you are ensuring that your OT system runs smoothly and securely with as few disruptions and as possible. Yeah, so quicker solutions are the flavor right now. Okay, so yeah, with regards to optimizing the OT processes, yeah, managing OT changes and incidents. Earlier, they used to be slow and disorganized. So engineers had to sift through multiple different modules and sections in ServiceNow to find the information they needed, yeah, such as what are the related incidents or change requests to these. So this scattered approach made it quite difficult to solve these problems quickly. Now with the latest release, the OT change management and OT incident management application have received an improvement. All the related information is now consolidated under related records tab, which makes it easier for engineers to access everything in one place. Yeah, so this change allows engineers to address malfunctions and incidents much faster instead of maybe wasting their time navigating through different sections. They can quickly find related data, making the process more efficient, and definitely helps the agent as well a lot. Yeah, so less time spent searching means faster resolution and obviously less downtime. So in the next slide, let's look at how this new release supports OT from security and overall efficiency perspective. Okay, so before this release, updating assignment groups for OT vulnerabilities was slow and manual process, so which requires engineers to update one site at a time. Gathering vulnerability data also required more manual input, yeah, limiting the efficiency of security processes. So with the Xanadu release, there are two major improvements that have been made. So engineers can now update multiple site records in one go. This saves them a lot of time. Yeah, so this was a challenge earlier on. For example, if a security team needs to reassign vulnerability remediation for 50 different sites due to, let's say, a team change, they can do it in one go right now, yeah, instead of updating each one individually. Engineers can also now automatically import and map vulnerability data from multiple security vendors like Cisco, Microsoft, Palo Alto. Yeah, so this obviously reduces manual input and ensures faster remediation. The Industrial Process Manager application in this release allows you to add OT devices to an equipment model also using the IP addresses. So this feature is part of Equipment Model Manager in Industrial Workspace, and it helps ensures that your OT asset inventory is accurate and organized. So as you can imagine, this is particularly useful in environments where OT devices might not be so easily accessible, so which is usually the case with some of the old factories or they are not identifiable by any other means. So leveraging IP address simplifies this process, helping you keep track of OT assets and ensuring your system reflects the real-time state of your network. Yeah. So yeah. Also, I would say one of the biggest improvement in this release is the OT progress scorecard, which addresses previously limited ability for OT managers to compare their sites, yeah, in terms of performance. So managers can now very easily compare multiple OT sites using key performance indicators such as their security posture, asset uptime, incident resolution times, etc. So the scorecard is integrated into the industrial workplace, which provides easy access to performance and quality data across all sites. And the OT Progress Scorecard is a very powerful tool for driving basically data-driven decision making. Yeah. This also helps the managers in resource allocation. So it helps managers see which sites are excelling and which needs attention. So this feature promotes like continuous improving by continuously giving you feedback with the real-time data. So how it might help, for example, we worked with a large manufacturing company that struggled to manage the performance of their multiple OT sites. So one particular issue was that one of their production facilities consistently experienced higher downtime, but they couldn't pinpoint why that was happening. So with this scorecard now in place, they would be easily able to compare all the sites and notice that the underperforming facility, let's say, had a lower security posture or maybe a slower incident resolution time than others. Yeah. So as you can see, this data would allow them to allocate more resources to security and training at the site, which obviously would lead to reducing the downtime and improving overall performance. So in this scenario, the progress scorecard would have been really helpful because it provides like clear data-driven way to identify the problem, take targeted actions to fix it, something that probably I would say wasn't so easily possible before the release. So yeah, I hope today's presentation highlighted some of the important features and enhancement that ServiceNow is introducing. I encourage you to consider the potential benefit for these updates, yeah, which could probably bring more benefits to your current OT setup. If you need assistance, Platformation is kind of a pioneer in this space. We have successfully managed OT needs for large and complex clients, so we would be happy to offer our expertise to support your, let's say, OT assessment and implementation needs. So Yeah, with that, I would like to hand over to Martin to talk a little bit about HRSD. Thank you.
Thanks, Sachin. Hi, everyone. My name is Maarten de Winter, and I'm the capability lead for HRSD. And today I'll be giving you a sneak peek on a new feature that will not be in Xanadu, unfortunately, but will arrive to the platform expected somewhere in the next few months. So first, some context. ServiceNow has acquired in May this year Intrella, which is an end-to-end talent acquisition solution or an applicant tracking system. And since then, they've been working to incorporate that product into the ServiceNow ecosystem, and it is expected to be released in November this year. Now, what is an ATS? It is a platform or a system that is used by recruiters, but also, for example, by your hiring managers to filter, to manage, and to track candidates, but also your vacancies. So it can be used to parse and store information of people that apply to your jobs, to your vacancies, so that you can create a database of potential candidates and where you can match your candidates with any vacancy that you have. They can also screen candidates, send out invites for job interviews, store notes for these job interviews, etc. You can also rank and tag candidates with their skills, with their seniority, with their experience, and to enhance the data of your employee, or sorry, your candidate database. And last but not least, they can also automate job posting to external job sites such as Monster or LinkedIn. Now, why is this important to you? First of all, by bringing an ATS into the ServiceNow ecosystem, you can provide an end-to-end process and experience from the first step and the position request, let's say, until the first day, the first week, or the first month of your new employee. For current customers, we've integrated other applicant tracking systems with ServiceNow HRSD to automate the onboarding of new hires, of course. And while the process is automated from a fulfillment perspective, from an experience perspective, you are lacking a unified experience for candidates if you don't have an ATS within the ServiceNow ecosystem. So that brings me to the first benefit for candidates, providing a unified experience, whether the candidate is still in the application process or whether the candidate is a new hire and assigned his or her contract. So you don't have to be sending notifications from your ATS when there's still a candidate, and from ServiceNow, from HRSD, when they've signed the contract or when they're an employee. It allows you to streamline the application process across the board for candidates. It also allows for efficient communication, and regardless if they are a new hire or a candidate. Secondly, for hiring managers, there are also a lot of benefits. They can create new job vacancies when they need a new employee in their team, of course. They can track all activities from one platform related to recruitment, related to talent acquisition. What has recruitment done for this vacancy? How many candidates are there? When is this candidate having their first interview? Do they need to take any tests, any assessments, things like that? All can be managed from one spot. You can also screen and evaluate candidates before they are selected for an interview, for example, or take notes when they are interviewing someone, and they can communicate with recruiters with their feedback on your candidates. And last but not least, for your HR organization or your talent acquisition organization, the benefits are clear, and you have one system of truth. You don't have to work, or they don't have to work in a separate ATS when we're still in the candidate phase, and in HRSD when they're in the onboarding phase. And so they get to work in one system, which which brings a better experience for your HR organization, but also gives you the benefits of automating the process and streamlining the work across across the whole life cycle of a candidate and of a new hire by having it into one system. And last but not least, in terms of analytics, you have the ServiceNow platform capabilities, of course, to be leveraged to analyze the process, to analyze the performance of the talent acquisition department, and ultimately make it more efficient. Right, that's what I wanted to share today. Off to Ellie for some closing notes.
Thank you, Marta. Yeah, thank you to all of our presenters. So we do have now about 15 minutes for question and answer. And while you guys go ahead and put your question in the chat here, I will provide a couple last remarks. And this is specifically that the upgrade to Xanadu, even though there are some potential challenges, such as the upgrade duration or migrating different customizations, we feel that the benefits far outweigh the challenges. And of course, we are here to support all of you in a successful transition. So, of course, feel free to get in touch with us, any of the consultants that presented today. But yeah, now we can hand it over for some questions.
If it's okay with you, I have a practical thing to share with Xanadu, because this week I'm already at the customer. We're on Xanadu patch 1. And we're hosting an AI week together with ServiceNow. So there you can already see the benefits. And we said, of course, for some organizations, GenAI seems like a theoretical thing. But we have had a small hackathon where in 6 hours we took 3 use cases, starting small, pick up 3 use cases in 6 hours with 3 teams. And we just presented that with the customer in front of 200 people. To the business, and I think that that really shows the value of Xanadu. The options that Jeroen shared, using text. One of the teams was already able to build catalog items that usually took them 5 to 7 days to build. They could now do that in minutes. So I think that's really where it's going, and with Xanadu you can already be there.
Of course, a customer can get a specific Xanadu session. That is something that we would be happy to host. So yeah, please do get in touch with us. If you'd like to understand what this means for you in terms of your customizations, different benefits, we have this team, but also a really talented team around the world that would be excited to support. So I will go ahead and close it here then. So thank you so much for everyone that joined, and wishing you a great rest of your day.